One thing that I like to say now is stop running on other people's treadmills when you don't even know the speed. I've had to learn myself that you cannot compare yourself to other people. If you look around and you continually try to put yourself in the shoes of others, you will miss out on what your own journey has been. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Nina, and having real deal confidence is not something that's easy to come by. Look, I am a published researcher in the area of self confidence, self esteem, locus of control, all of that stuff. But my book sense didn't get me here. Do you hear me? Okay. Y'all know from my channel, if you've been around for a while, I have told y'all the ups and downs of my life. This does not just highlight all the wonderful highlight reels. The reason why I am who I am today and the confidence I have built has actually come from the grit in my life. I mean, the down and dirty. Okay. So y'all have seen me go through the trials of a fitness journey, losing over 100 pounds and keeping it off for so many years. But not only that, now becoming a mother, having gained weight and going through that again. Not only that, I have also struggled. Y'all see me as Dr. Nina now, but my first year of college, I had a 0.89 GPA. Don't worry, I coughed too, okay? That unheard of, right? Not only that, I've gone through the network difficulties, the friendships that have not really gone well, the relationships that have been horrendous for me. I'm talking from abuse to different other things, whether emotionally or threatened physically. I'm just being honest with y'all. So today I want to talk about that and I want to dig deep. I only have a script to keep me on point because I can talk all day, but I really wanted to make sure I brought the key things that got me started with changing and boosting my confidence into it. Boosting it instantly, really, and also getting my self-esteem and self-worth in place. And I think that this will help you no matter what stage in life that you're in, but I want to hear from y'all too, because I know there's some seasoned vets and there's also some young people here that really learn and do learn from each other and all of the things that we've been through together. So make sure that you comment down below. That's how this video ends up in the algorithm, and it also lets YouTube know that you want to see more from me. Like this video and subscribe, and also any items I recommend can be found in the description box. Let's get into it, y'all. So something we have to discuss in order to talk about confidence is insecurities. And as we know, insecurities are things that we all have. Somehow the word insecure has become quite demonized in today's society, but we all have them. There are things that we may wish could have been differently, or we could look a different way, we could present a different way, we could be like others. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're not putting your insecurities off on other people. Those are things that you will forever want to work on and try to correct. But I have a list that I found. Confident people versus insecure people. And just because you have insecurities, let me point this out, does not mean you cannot be confident. We all have insecurities, but there are the differences between confident people and insecure people. So let me read this. Confident people celebrate other people's success. They're open-minded, they're optimistic, willing to take risks. They laugh at themselves, they're decisive, always learning and growing. They admit to mistakes and they accept responsibility. On the other hand, we have insecure people, and they judge and are jealous of other people. They're closed-minded, pessimistic, afraid of change, hide flaws, indecisive, act like a know-it-all, and make excuses and blame others. And we also know, filtering into that, you can have people who have a lot of, puffiness about themselves. They might also see themselves as higher than everyone else and also have to put other people down in order for them to feel good about themselves. So when we're talking about true confidence, that's when you have dealt with the insecurities, you have dealt with the stuff you don't like, and you still celebrate it as some of your best work. Like for me, some of the things I was made to feel less confident about or insecure about have been some of my strengths. So let that lead today's conversation as we move forward. Y'all, I've had to learn to stop comparing yourself to others. Look, one thing that I like to say now is stop running on other people's treadmills when you don't even know the speed. I've had to learn myself that you cannot compare yourself to other people. If you look around and you continually try to put yourself in the shoes of others, you will miss out on what your own journey has been. Some things are meant to be easier for you than it was for somebody else to acquire what they have. Some things are meant to be harder for you to acquire the things that you would like. I have also realized that the reason why a lot of doors are shut in my life, certain doors, are so that the other ones that were for me could be open. I used to really grapple with that. Why does so and so have this? Why does so and so have that? And that was a shorter period in my life until I realized that I had to put that same energy into focusing onto the things that were for me. You know what really changed my thought processes a lot of times? I had a long conversation with y'all about relationships over here. And I would talk to people about their relationships. And sometimes those ones that looked the most beautiful on the surface, some of those people would feel comfortable enough telling me the things they've come through, some of the abuse they may have endured, some of the difficulties they had to get through in order to be where they are. And some people who were not even living in their truth. Okay. And that made me realize, hey, you can't be wanting what other people want if you ain't willing to carry the bag they had to carry. And the same thing for you. I've had people look at me, and I've even had emails come in where people are like, your life just looks so perfect. And you are hold on, baby, go back some videos. Go back some videos. Mama ain't never said that she perfect. Ever, okay? But what I can tell you is I had to work through the stuff that I don't have and the things that have been seen as quirks, the things that weren't so celebrated about me, and figure out how those were actually my strengths. So the very thing I'm doing right now, speaking that a lot of y'all say I do well, that I have been paid to do, I will tell you this, from a child, I was told I was a talk box. I talked too much. I did all that. Thank God my mother fought for my spirit not to be crushed. Thank God I fought for my spirit not to be crushed. I'm so happy that I speak the way that I do with eloquence, that I am now a professor helping people to learn through my voice. Do I still talk too much sometimes? Yeah, but so what? I've learned when to speak and when my voice is necessary. You have to put that same twist on the things you got. Everything you have is for you. What someone else has for them is for them. And you have to remember that even looking in this social media game, a lot of people are only showing you the parts that make them look good. They're not necessarily going to show you all the ins and outs and the things that may not be as favorable. So remember that when you stop comparing yourself to other people, you have more time to dedicate to your own treadmill. Stop hopping on these treadmills that's on level 8 when you only at a level 3. And there's nothing wrong with your level 3, but you will never enjoy the peace between level 3 to level 8. And you won't learn how to run at level 8 until you nurture the things inside of that interval. Y'all pick up what I'm putting down. Now, I could say right here to surround yourself with positive people, but I'm going to say surround yourself with your people, baby, because your definition of positive might be different from mine. Now, I'm going to tell you, when we try to hold on to parts of life that we've outgrown or that are not for us, we will find that we have consistent failures in specific areas. Now I'm a mom, and I'm going to tell you right now that I did grapple with, how am I going to, even connecting with you all, how am I going to connect with the people that I know are single and don't desire children? How am I going to connect with them? Well, a lot of times, all of these situations that we go through can be likened to other situations. I learn from people that don't necessarily aspire to the things I have, and I don't aspire to the things they have, because some of their situations I can still learn from, right? And if I do find myself in that situation, I can grasp it easier. Not only that, I've also learned that it's important for me to diversify my view. I don't have to just work with people that are like me. It's good to have that sector, but it's also good for me to think carefully and think bigger and broader about the things that maybe I didn't think I wanted, because through that you find the things you want as well. So even now, I am a big proponent of my mommy group. So I'm in a mommy group that is a breastfeeding group. And some of y'all asked me how I found that, but it was through our neighborhood, our hospital, which actually hosts these types of groups. So check your hospitals, check your other medical communities for places that may host those types of groups. But what I find in those groups is I feel normal. I had to learn to be socialized as a mother. I had to learn, how to carry a diaper bag. That felt weird to me. Rolling a stroller felt weird to me. Sitting at a table where a baby might be crying or needed to be changed felt weird to me. But now I don't feel so bad because I've been around and socialized by other mothers. I've learned that that's not abnormal, that it may be weird because I was trying to hold on to something that was no longer. I'm now a mama, and I will be a mama forever until death. So that's something that you have have to learn to hold on to. But then you can still correspond and work with those who are different from you. One of my best friends, she's not married with a child yet, and I know that will come for her. But right now, we still correspond very well because we have a lot of other things that we value, that we love, and that we share together. And that's me learning how to not just shut off mommy mode, but to also go into the mode of other parts of me that exist. I do not let mommyhood take over my whole life. It's a beautiful thing, but I still have to have me. And so one thing that you have to do is build a network brick by brick. And by doing that, you get out there and you network and you find out what's for you and what's not. And it's okay to speak up for those things that are for you and those that are not. So having the right people around you will help you to feel less lost. It will help you to feel more confident. Those types of people know how to support you best. And even if they don't, they'll be willing to learn. And when I had that type of network, when I started to have mentorships, when I started to find groups that really solidified where I was heading, when I started to find people that were good for me, then I had the community to help me to reinforce myself and also help me to look at myself in the mirror. Even my bad habits, I was able to look at those, figure those out, because just because you acknowledge your bad habits does not mean you're not confident. In fact, you're more confident because you can hold yourself accountable. You can figure out the things that are not working for you and those that are. So I urge you all to look for that. And just so you know, my new website will be up this summer and we will have that mentorship membership back up and running. And I'm hoping that you all will join me there. But for now, join my email list. I got the link down below. You'll get a free 8-day supernatural video program, which is going to help you with all of these tips. Another thing that is essential for us in our confidence is taking care of your body. I know y'all probably tired of this, and everybody wants to say, well, your confidence doesn't come from what you look like. Let me tell you something. And I stared right at the microphone. What up? Let me tell y'all something. It's not about what you look like. It's not all about that. But let's be honest. The better you look to yourself, the better you nourish yourself, the better you take care of yourself, the more you're putting into you. Whenever you just think about money, whenever you build a little bit more money, even if it's $1 more that you can hold on to, you build more confidence of the abilities you might have or the things you might be able to do. Your body is the same. It's a bank. It's waiting for you to pay for it. It's waiting for you to pay into it. The more you pay forward emotionally, physically, spiritually, the better off you will be. So I wrote down some of the things that I invest in when I take care of myself. Number one, my diet. You know what? It's okay to have fun sometimes. I'm learning that. I learned it all through my pregnancy. I've learned it even now as I'm slowly but surely bringing my body back into its equilibrium. Your diet really does determine how you feel, okay? You want to tell me I'm wrong? Go ahead and get you a nice, very sloppy pizza and a burger and eat it tonight. Wake up 5 hours later. See how you feel. As opposed to maybe eating some vegetables, a nice protein, and some carbohydrates that are good and feeding back into your body, and then waking up tomorrow a little later with a little more sleep. You're going to feel 10 times better. Your energy levels will be different. Your mind will be different. Your skin will be different. Okay. So my diet to me represents the way that I'm learning to nourish myself inside and out. Also mentally, I think better. I feel better. I feel clearer. And I also feel like I'm able to tackle the things of my day that might seem harder for me. Okay. And so what I'm challenging you to is to think about how you're nourishing yourself, and you nourish your mind through your food as well. So make sure you're giving back to yourself in that way. Also exercise. Before and now, even during postpartum, I'm learning that I'm paying forward into my body once again. When I exercise, I'm again paying into that bank. I'm finding new ways to help me live longer, to help my heart do better, to help my cardiovascular system to do well, to help me to be able to walk up and down steps, to hold my baby, okay, to hang out with my husband, to do active things. I am learning that even to keep up with my friends and to keep up with fellow people, because I have friendships that are various ages. And a lot of the people that I choose to be surrounded by also give to their body no matter their age. That exercise helps me to connect to others, and it helps my mental stability to be very good, okay? And my acuity, all of that is on point due to the exercise that I'm giving to my body. Meditation is also good, and meditation for you might be in the form of prayer. And what I find with meditation is I'm able to block out a lot of different things and quiet my space in order for me to be able to give back to myself. Through prayer specifically, I'm able to speak to God, and who that God is for you, that is who that is for you, okay? But I'm able to speak and hear myself think. And even when I just meditate and think about my days or think about what I would like to do, I'm able to envision myself doing something different. I'm able to envision myself completing something or completing a goal that I want to achieve. All of these things help me to feel more sound, and they help me to feel more nourished. So even giving back to yourself in terms of meditation, even if you don't take meditation seriously, it changes things. Research has shown that even in you giving back to yourself in that way can allow you to have more mental clarity. And also sleep, y'all. A lot of times with our sleep, we don't give enough credence to that. But I'll tell you now, nowadays, I'm even worse without sleep. If I don't sleep, I'm cranky. I'm not thinking clearly, which won't allow you to celebrate the great things about yourself. It'll make you only focus on the negatives because you're grumpy. Okay. So sleeping, however long that is for you, of course, science says most people need about 7 to 9 hours or so to be able to sleep. But some of us are different. Some of us are outliers. So consider what that is for you to feel accomplished in the work that you do, for you to make it through workouts, for you to make it through work, for you to be able to correspond and have the attentiveness to your networks. All of that is going to help feed back into you and help you to feel more empowered. This next thing sounds so bubblegum, but you definitely gotta find a way to make sure that you're being kind to yourself. Have you ever noticed that you are kinder to other people that you don't even know more than you are to yourself? I know I have been. And what I mean by being kind to yourself is, a lot of times we will say other people deserve the benefit of the doubt more than we do. Sometimes we will be so hard on ourselves, we don't feel that we deserve the good things in life, that we don't feel that we deserve to feel better, that we don't feel that we deserve to dream and to execute said dreams. We will tell other people so much that feeds into their spirit. We will continue to pour from an empty cup and won't expect that others will do it for us. For some reason, especially women of color, taking it a step further, Black women often feel that we have to give and give and give to other people. And I'm so happy to see that the tide is shifting on that. When I say be kind to you, sometimes you got to give yourself permission to not have to fill other people's cup. It doesn't make you better or worse of a person to realize that you don't have anything left to give right now. You need to replenish. It also doesn't behoove you to always think that other people deserve more of a benefit of the doubt than you. I know this might seem small, but I can remember back in the day looking at TV shows, I love true crime, looking at other stuff and saying, oh, well, they deserved better. Oh, well, that shouldn't have happened to them. Oh, they were abused. They shouldn't have been. And I can remember not even looking at my own situation in the same way. I didn't deserve to be treated certain ways. I didn't deserve to continue to go down a path that wasn't leading to anything. I didn't deserve to keep pouring from a cup that was empty. And when I realized that I was giving more empathy and sometimes sympathy to people before I was giving it to myself, that was a big red flag. You know why? Because sometimes internally, we don't realize this is happening, but subconsciously, we decide that we don't deserve what we should have. And right down to the smallest things. There was a time where I didn't think I deserved a break. Working some of my first jobs, I remember some of my bosses having to build in those boundaries. Like, oh no, you go ahead and go on a break. Even though, back then you didn't really have to worry about it as much. I remember them having to tell me that. And it's the same thing in life for me now. Oh yes, even if you think you don't, you deserve a break, because what happens is that pressure keeps building up and building up. And finally you erupt because you have not had relief. My husband does the same thing now. See, what happens is if you come in with a sense of self and confidence, you teach people how to treat you, but you also draw into you the people that are good for you. My husband will see me going and going and going now, and he literally will take whatever it is I'm trying to do away from me and handle it himself, because he knows that I'm going to try to go and go and go, because that's a part of me. That's something that I do sometimes. But having the great network that I have, they know that I have to be sometimes slowed down, and I have to be reminded reminded that I cannot continue to go off of fumes. I cannot pour from my cup when I don't have much left to give. If you have that confidence and you build that up over time, you'll also draw those people to you that realize your cup needs to be filled. Don't give to others, okay, what you won't even give to yourself. You are not a martyr. Okay. You are not someone that is looking to win the award for taking the most or getting the least. You deserve to live life to its fullest. That will build your confidence. It will build your confidence in people. It will help you to build the skill of discernment. It will also help you to see who's good for you and who's not. Building back into that confidence system brings a stream of knowledge and wisdom that a lot of times we ignore. So give back to you even before you give back to people sometimes. Most times. Now, I said that other one was corn, but this one might be even more corny. But practice positive self-talk. You know, I don't know. I'm still the hardest person on myself. Y'all, I have said some of the meanest things to myself out loud and in my head. And click like if you can relate to that. Click like if you have ever said some of the most heinous things to yourself. I've even had to laugh at myself before, like, wow, like that's how you really feel? That's what we doing today? But I had wrote down some different ways to take words and reframe certain situations. So like this. So we'll say things like, I can't handle this, or this is impossible. And that can become more like, I can do this, or all I have to do is try. See, you're not giving yourself false hope, but you're giving yourself a little bit of leeway to realize that you may not be accounting for the skills that you've attained, and now giving yourself the chance to see them in action. Another one, I can't do anything right becomes I can do better next time, or at least I learned something. I cannot tell y'all how many times I've had to reframe and say to myself, you know, that relationship didn't work out. I wasn't supposed to be with that person. And, you know, and then I might get to another point where I'm like, well, I was stupid for staying. But am I? Look, I would have learned the lesson without going through it. Another thing is, you know, when people say things like, well, you listen too much negativity, or you listen too much situations of other people. I'm going to tell you why I like to listen to the situations of others, not just because I'm a clinical professional and a psychologist, but also because I realize I learn through others' actions. I don't have to live the same way somebody else lived in order to experience the same things. I can learn through their experiences. And you're the same way. You learn through your own experiences. And sometimes reframing what you've been through can teach you to feel more confident in yourself and more dependent on you. Another one is I hate public speaking. That could become I don't like public speaking. And everyone has strengths and weaknesses. You see, I'm not saying, oh, I can do it. Woo, I can do it. We know what we good at and what we not. That's okay. That is okay. But you only build confidence by being aware of the things that work for you and the things that don't. And those that don't, it's okay, y'all. It's okay. You're not going to be 100% amazing at everything. Even me with speaking, I told y'all I've been in talk box since I was little. I have been in performances since I was younger. I rap, sing, play piano, violin, viola, and cello. I do a lot. Okay. So talking comes naturally for me. You know what doesn't come naturally for me? Telling people also my boundaries. I'm still working on that. I do it. I've done it much better now. I'm still much more robotic and I've gotten better about it. But sometimes I need a reminder there and a refresher as well. I'm not great at everything and I'm okay with that. Yes, my talents and skills are vast, but me even knowing how to reframe what I know and don't know brings me more confidence. And it also brings me more confidence in depending on others when the time allows and calls for it. I can't always depend on myself for everything. And I can also delegate and find others that are willing to fuse their talents with mine in order for us to get the job done. Facing your fears is also essential. And I know for me, I have things that I have not done. And in the past, didn't realize that some of those things that I hadn't done well were scary for me. I can tell y'all now, and I've shared a little bit of this before, but even becoming a wife, people make it seem like you just you get engaged or you are in a relationship and you just automatically understand because you're a woman how to be a wife. Absolutely not. I had to learn to make my own definition. And not only that, I had to have my husband's support in that. And also support or allow him to support me in that so I would become more confident in my role. I couldn't compare it, as I've already said, to other people. My walk is different. I am used to being a high powered woman. I'm used to having life a certain way. And I had to stand 10 toes down on that, even becoming someone's, and in this case, my husband Sean's wife. What'll happen sometimes when we face our fears is we become even better than we could have even imagined. My fear was having something that fails because I had so many long-term relationships that had failed. I had so many long-term relationships that I found myself not fulfilled in. And I didn't know, would this be the same way? And what I did in that time was, first off, I prayed. And secondly, I spoke to a lot of people that had been in relationships that had both failed and those that had both succeeded or also succeeded. What I learned from that is some of the situations I should avoid and look out for, but also the things that I was stepping into my own way. And you know what? In some of those mentorships, I learned from some of my mentors that they knew that they didn't have life the same way I did. And they were able to admit that. See, that's confidence. They were able to say, hey, I can't tell you exactly what I would do in that situation, but I can give you what I have done and what worked for me and what didn't. And people have gone through divorces. I was able to ask them, why do you think your relationships failed? That helped me to look at myself. And y'all, what is that on my window? Y'all, it's bugs in Texas. I tell y'all, it ain't on the inside. It's on the outside, though. Don't try to hold me. Don't do it. But no, seriously, talking to people helped me to realize that my fears were validated. Lots of people have those fears, even when they have had good relationships. And sometimes you find that you still become insecure in certain things just because of your encounters with them from the past or the traumas that you've had from the past. Of course, that's where therapy fits in. We know that, right? You ain't gonna put all that off on your significant other or on your friends or whoever else. You need to definitely make sure that you're feeding back into yourself and also just facing the fact that you are afraid of certain things occurring. When you do that, you can face them head on. You can also find ways to be proactive about fixing those things for yourself or not fixing them. Just being proactive and understanding that they could occur, understanding that they may come, that difficulties happen. Something that I realized in relationships is no relationship is without issue. And by that, I mean not severe issues, not man-made issues. I ain't talking cheating or financial instability or those types of things. I'm talking about things that we can't plan for. We can't plan for when our parents might get ill. We can't plan for when family members might overstep their bounds or when people might infuse themselves into our relationships. But we can plan together on how we might handle that. We know that those things might occur, but we have to be proactive in making a way. And I have learned to be proactive in my thinking when it comes to those situations and remembering other situations I've been through in the past and how I recovered. You become more confident through pulling from your past to help to gauge your future, but to also learn from it and do better. The next thing is to know when to say no, okay? A lot of times we don't know when to say no. We don't know when to tell people to step off. We don't know when to step back. And you don't always have to be mean. Here's the thing. I think in my life, I've had some people demonize my nose. Click like if you can relate to that. What I mean is your no becomes just the ugliest thing ever. Have y'all ever noticed that? And I know this as being a Black woman. I know that sometimes when I've kindly said no to someone or told them I cannot do something, they still will act as if I've had the nastiest attitude and disposition with them. And I used to be afraid of that. So what I would do was be a people pleaser and say yes, because I knew that it might come with some backlash if I say no. But what I've learned is when you become more confident in your responses, how you are, who you are, and how you present yourself, you won't allow anybody to fool you out of your no. If it is no, it's no. If you don't need to do it, if it's not for you to do, then that is what it is. No matter who's offended just by you saying no. Now, I'll give you an example. There were times where in relationships, someone would ask for something or something that I knew I couldn't handle or didn't want to handle, right? Because you have that right. I would say no, and they'd be like, oh man, you just always got to be combative. Because I said no? Or was it the way I said it? Because combativeness has to do with the way in which you present something. It has nothing to do with me saying no. Okay. And when I started to realize that and started to hear myself, and in going to therapy for so many years, I've been in therapy now, 13, 14 years. I've become more self-aware. So I know when I got sauce. I know when I'm being ugly. I know when I'm being nice and nasty. I know when I'm being cute. I know when I'm being kind. I know when I'm being quiet. I know when I'm trying to be nicer than usual. And so when I've tried all those ways and yet the no still stings the person, I got to believe it's you. Okay. You got the problem with me saying no, but I have to stand on business and I have to stand on my no. So I urge you to really think about practicing your no. Okay. And I sometimes have heard certain people that have asked over and over for things that are inappropriate. And I say no in my head before they can finish talking. No. It's okay. And sometimes you don't have to, and most times you don't need to be willing to self-sacrifice in order for someone else's happiness. You don't, especially when they have given you no commitment, no stability, no, reciprocity in a relationship. You definitely don't need to be doing that. And so something that I've learned too for me is, how was my no? Was I questioning my no? Even confidence in that no is important. So it's not like no. It's like no. It's like no. No. But don't let anybody fool you into thinking that you've been wrong because you said no. Sometimes they just don't want to hear no. And that has nothing to do with you. Become more confident with standing on what you've said. Last but certainly not least is setting realistic goals. I've said this before and I will continue to say this. The way you become more confident is not through smashing the biggest goal on your list. It's by doing the day by day and the daily things that build that thing up. When I look back to my weight loss, y'all, to be honest, what brings me the most confidence is the small things I did. Buying new workout clothes, okay? Buying new tennis shoes that supported my workout. Finding ways for me to feel comfortable on a new exercise machine or a new lifting machine or picking up a new size dumbbell. Not only that, fitting into an outfit that I never thought would fit. Or having the confidence to go every day or every other day to go work out for that matter. It's the small things that you do that really do bring confidence, and the building blocks, not the biggest goal that gets you there. So I'll give you another example. When I was going through school and going through my career, even the small things, people would say, why don't you celebrate bigger? Okay, so when I got my master's degree, I didn't really celebrate. I went to the graduation, I did all that, but I knew that my goal was bigger. I did learn to celebrate those things because what I found was it brought me even more confidence in getting to the bigger goal. I was ignoring the small things because I thought that they didn't account for anything. But without those small things, I wouldn't have had the bigger goal of becoming Dr. Nina. It was the stuff in between. So what you don't want to build is a situation where you get the bigger thing and it feels empty because you didn't enjoy the ride. You didn't celebrate the small victories. You didn't celebrate the small things that got you there. But when I started to learn to celebrate those small things and learn to write those things down, keep a journal, figure out how those actually factored into my overall story, I was able to pull from them for the bigger wins. And I was able to look back at those moments as key points in which I became stronger, as key points in which I became more dependent on me, as key points as in when I was stepping into who I am today. All of the little things in between that could have took me out. All the little things in between that could have thrown me down. When I went to school, I didn't have a lot of people to send me money, buy me books, do all of that. The fact that I worked 3 doggone jobs plus started a YouTube channel during that time is what brings me joy. Do y'all hear me? I want to cry right now. Those are what brought me joy. When I think back to the family that I have now, The reason why I have the joy in that family was because of all the losses. And when I say losses, don't think I'm speaking badly. When I think back to all the things that didn't work out, all the relationships that didn't hit, all the things that didn't follow through, all the men I could have married that wasn't what was what. You know, all the times I could have given up on my fertility journey to get to my little baby, my little beautiful brown baby doll. If I had have given in and not celebrated every time a door was closed, or even every time a door won, I led to a win, I wouldn't value what I have today. Okay. So I urge you to really consider right now all the small things that have set you up for success. Even if you feel like what you have is very little, look back and look out. It was much smaller even back then. Those things will teach you to be happier with what you have now and be more confident in your skill set and what you're able to do to get to the next level. All right, y'all, I hope today's video has been beneficial. Boosting confidence ain't nothing easy, okay? You can't just snap your fingers and have new confidence, but there are instant things you can start to put on, things that you can put into your repertoire in order for you to feel better and build that esteem and that confidence and your self-worth, because you deserve it. You deserve it, but you gotta believe you deserve it, okay? So make sure you comment, share this video with someone who can use it. I'm saying it again, share this video with someone who can use it, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. Beautiful brown baby doll. Peace.